Ladies and gentlemen, it is Rival Week here on Campus Gridiron. Glad to have you with us, Season 2, Episode 15. We had a lot of crazy games last week. As Mike pointed out last week, the unbeaten did in fact continue to fall. Both Indiana and Army both fell in their respective games. Lennon had a blast at the Swamp. I'm sure he's going to tell us about that experience. And hey, as for me, Boston College made a bowl game.
Yeah, you didn't have to get North Carolina's coach fired, though, but it's
And we're
okay.
going to actually start off with that. So this was Mac Brown's second stint, if you will, as North Carolina head coach. And this stint, he lasted 6 seasons. He was rehired in 2019. And really, it felt like since this hire, North Carolina became less and less of a threat. I don't know if that's just me who noticed that the Tar Heels have been kind of struggling a lot the past couple of seasons, but I don't know, Lennon. What do you think of this? I know you follow the Tar Heels pretty closely.
I do, and I love Mac Brown. He's a really great coach, but it's just he wasn't. I don't know. Something happened. I mean, North Carolina's never been known for football. Let's be real. I think but they were decent, and they just started. They've been falling off. Like they would start good and then fall off really hard, and then this year they just never got off the ground. So, I mean, I hate to see it, but good thing I'm more of a North Carolina basketball fan, so I'm not too upset with the football program. But yeah, man, it sucks. I mean, Coach Mac's a legend, and he'll go in the College Football Hall of Fame. But yeah, just it was time to move on from him. Definitely feel like. I mean, I wish we could have made him, let him retire, but that's okay. But
Same thing. I don't know, Mike. What do you think? You think it was a little you just let him coach the bowl game and then you kind of just kick him out the door? Or what do you think? How North Carolina should have handled this?
Yeah, I think they should have just kept him this year and then let him go. After, I mean, like you got like what 2 more games? You have
yeah,
this week in the bowl game. It's like really gonna like fire him after just 2 more games. You can't let him coach 2 more games. He's like he's with you 2 weeks older. Is that gonna kill him? You understand? He's old, but he's not that old.
I mean, oh my, and not even that. It's just the fact that they never got off the ground running because their starting quarterback, who was it, Max Johnson, he got hurt in the first game of the year.
yeah.
So, they've done okay in the transfer portal and whatnot, but they're having a rough season because their offense wasn't surrounded by the quarterback they were trying to build the offense around.
Yeah, they just I don't know. I think that move. I mean, he definitely needed to go. Firing the dude before you play North Carolina State is that's a little. But you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. I hate to see him go. I mean, I like the dude. He's a cool dude, but got to make moves that help the program, and I think that's a good move.
And we didn't talk about this last week, but there is a couple of, I guess, flips in the recruit that we could quickly touch base on. This was the big one from last week, how five-star quarterback Julian Lewis committed to Colorado after he originally committed to USC, then decommitted. Very interesting knowing the fact that Shadir Sanders will be going to the NFL draft this year. Do we think that, Coach Prime gave Lewis a little pep talk of, you're our guaranteed starter if you commit with us? What are your guys' thoughts on Lewis, the second best prospect in the 25 class, committing to Colorado?
I mean, if you're Shadir Sanders, you can flip Travis Hunter. So if you flip Travis Hunter, I think you could flip anyone. So I think he just did what he did Travis Hunter to him and made him flip.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Colorado seemed. I mean, I know they lost this past weekend, but they've been looking. Deion Scott. Colorado's weird. They're so weird, but I mean, I mean, is it money? Did he go there? Because, there's a lot of things that, I don't know. This is it weird. Colorado's a weird school, man.
Colorado's a weird school. You want to bring up last week's loss. Kansas in general is also very odd. They will beat the teams they should get destroyed by, and they'll lose heartbreakers to teams they should beat by 20. So the Jayhawks are weird, but of course we'll get into that in our upsets portion of last week's recap. But Kansas back-to-back huge victories. And also, while we're on the flipping side of things, this is a pretty big one. Bryce Underwood, he is the number 1 prospect from the 25 recruiting class. He flipped from LSU to Michigan. Now, this isn't really much of a surprise because we've noticed how bad Michigan has been this year at the quarterback position. But, it's still a very different coaching staff from when this team won the national championship last year. So what do you guys think of Underwood flipping from LSU to Michigan? Realistically, he's going to be a starter within the next year or 2 at minimum, and I think that is why he ended up committing to the Wolverines.
Well, that, and I mean, look at LSU's last 4 games. They've lost 3 in a row, and then they almost lost to Vanderbilt. So, and this, I think we all quickly wrote off Michigan, especially this year. But this dude's that's gonna help them a lot. Michigan's not quite dead yet in the Big Ten. They are this year. They're toast. But next year, it's going to be really interesting to see this dude play. Because this kid looks super good from the highlights I've watched of him. And I'm also not surprised he flipped from LSU.
Yeah.
Because Brian Kelly's Brian Kelly. But, yeah, I think he's going to help Michigan a lot next year. So keep an eye on them next year.
Well, yeah, LSU was lost the last of their 3. Michigan's also 5-3 or something like that. They're not better than LSU. Like, I understand why he flipped, because they think he does want to be at Michigan more than LSU, but still, like, both teams are not that good of a team this year, at least.
Yeah. We kind of knew right away Michigan was gonna struggle right out of the gate. I mean, the fact they got absolutely dismantled by Texas in their first home game was a little alarming. And since then, they haven't really picked it up. Now, they have had a couple of really nice wins along the way, but, they're 6-5 right now for a reason. And about to be 6-6 because, well, we'll get into our predictions later on. Michigan's game is one of the games we will be predicting this week, and I don't think they're going to have a chance because of this team right here. And this is why we didn't trust Indiana. Now, I was, watching the game with Mike. I'm like, at what point do we call Indiana like fraudulent, or did they get beat by the better team? Well, not only did they get beat by the better team, but really the second half wasn't close. You had a punt return touchdown that really blew the game wide open for Ohio State. Will Howard had a very redeeming game after he's been struggling the last couple of weeks. Everything, Mike, was just clicking on all cylinders. And again, it comes down to coaching and preparation, and that's how the Buckeyes won this game.
Uh-huh.
Well, that, and they have the best defense in college football behind them too.
Yes.
I cannot stand Ohio State, but I keep telling people, like, dude, they are legit, man. Their defense is incredible. The offense can be shaky sometimes, but they were on all cylinders against Indiana. But I mean, with their defense, and now they I'm pretty sure they just locked up the Big Ten championship. So we should see Oregon and Ohio State again. So I'm excited for that one. I should be. Yeah, I'm 99.9% sure. I don't even if Michigan somehow wins, I don't think it affects Ohio State at all. But I wanted to pick Indiana so bad, but I couldn't bet against. And maybe if this game was in Indiana, maybe I would have been more confident, but I couldn't pick the Hoosiers. So that pick the tree nuts.
You have to pick the tree nuts. I love it. I love calling them the tree nuts. That was so funny. All right. London's like, you don't know about any of these college nicknames until I, bring them up to you. Not wrong. Not wrong. Moving on to what was nothing short of an insane game. I'll let you take it away on this one since you were at attendance. The swap was rocking. But I will say, those last two interceptions and the third one that got called back, I mean, it really showed how much I feel Jackson Dart has, I don't want to say digressed over the year, but he has been really struggling. He had two opportunities to win this game for the Rebels, and they both resulted in game-sealing picks. Lennon, how was the atmosphere like, and how impressed were you from DJ Lagway on Saturday?
That Auburn 2019 before last week was the greatest atmosphere I've ever been to or seen at the Swamp. And it was just the vibe. It was a noon game. We didn't really get to tailgate that much because it's a noon game. We got to be at the stadium early, but the vibes were there. There were a ton of Ole Miss fans there too. Ton. Like walking up to our gate, we were like the only Gator fans. I got a little nervous, but please don't sit by me. But they were there, loud, great classic SEC football. And when Jackson, before I go on my rant, the two touchdowns that Ole Miss scored in this game, I wasn't even mad. I was more in awe of the fact I got to see Jackson Dart throw a football because the first one was right. Both of them were right at me. It was just like, oh my God, this dude's amazing. But Florida and DJ Lagway responded right back, and they controlled the ball, and that's how we won this game. It was amazing. Now I got the final interception on video. It's like something told me to film it, so I started filming, and he threw the pick, and the place just freaking roared. It was amazing.
You should have gotten the Montreal Johnson touchdown on video too.
That was right in front of me. The play before that, when I said, I want him to get one more touchdown here, and the next play they did the Wildcat for him. Hey, that's man. Cool. I don't know. See, some idiot kept saying that Lane Kiffin would be a better coach than Billy Napier. I don't know what happened to him, but I think old Billy shut up the haters with this one, including me.
Too. I thought you shut up the haters last week, and now with this massive upset win. Now remember, Ole Miss came into last week at 9th. Florida essentially just knocked them out of the playoffs, and now you have 4 flips this week. Florida had at least 3 or 4.
4 and 3.
It's amazing.
3 of them were from Florida State. In the last 9 days, Florida has flipped 20% of Florida State's recruiting class. So this game Saturday is even more, even though the records don't matter, I still think he should have put this game on, but that's okay. I'm going to talk about it now. The Sunshine Showdown is always incredible, crazy. They don't like each other. Tell you how 100 miles separate the two campuses. It's going to be violent. Florida State has nothing to play for. Florida has to. We got a bowl game, but I really want to be 7-5. So this is going to be an interesting game. And then the fact that we just flipped 20% of their recruiting class in the last 9 days adds to the fuel to the fire. So Saturday night. Right, yeah, 7. Saturday night's going to be a very, very, very interesting time. And I am tell you what, guys, I am nervous as hell for this one just because it's Florida State, and I've seen them do it before, and I don't want them to do it again. So Florida has to be on their A game this week. Enjoy the wins against LSU and Ole Miss. Huge wins. Got to lock in this week, though, boys. Can't get too comfortable.
But I also feel like Florida is a little pissed off because if you remember last year, it was Florida State's undefeated season versus Florida's opportunity to go bowling. And, Mertz got injured in that game. And I think we could all agree Florida was 100% winning that game if Mertz never got injured last year. So I don't know. I think that game is in the back of the minds of half the Gators team because, guys like Johnson, they were there last year. And they're not going to forgive them so easily. they knew they had a chance at history last year, missed it, and now Florida State's just the biggest frauds in America, but that's not the point. Point is, this game, and on top of the in-state rivalry and all the recruits flipping, it's always going to be a fun matchup. I mean, it's Florida versus Florida State. I mean, this is like peak rivalry. It's SEC versus ACC. These two teams only play once a year anyways. It's going to be exciting, and I think it's going to be interesting. It's in the Swamp, correct?
Nah, Tally.
Tally? Oh, I know the crowd's going to be alive for that. Crowd's going to be alive for that.
Yeah, if I had just a little bit more money, I would grab my cousin and we'd go up. But us two together equals trouble most of the times, and I don't want to be alone in Tallahassee with him. So I want to stay at home and watch it on TV. But yeah, I will. Napier did a really good job in the media this week. They tried everything to get him to comment on their record, and he said, "I got my own grass to cut and mow," and did not talk about how Florida State's 2-9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2-9. So I'll give him that. And like I know on social media I've been talking a lot, but I am genuinely nervous for this game, guys. Just because it's
I mean,
records do not matter in these rivalries.
You're nuts. Yeah. I love it though. You're taking the rivalry to heart.
Yeah, dude. What shit? They won 2 or is it 2 or when did they beat us last? Was it 2 years in a row? Yeah. Mm-hmm. 2 years in a row we lost to them.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a late arrival.
I heard we're talking about the Florida Gators and how they whooped ass last week.
You made Jackson Dart look like a bum, dude.
I did. I'm pretty happy for y'all, but amazing. I'm also happy for the USF Bulls being bowl eligible, baby. We're back. We're back better than ever.
Hey, are you ready for the Gasparilla Bowl, buddy? You versus me. We gonna go?
No. I'd like to try to that's okay.
Crazy. Hey, yo, right. Mike, we need to go to the Fenway Bowl this year.
Yes.
We gotta make that happen.
Yeah.
And maybe Boston College will get it.
Well,
maybe.
Hey, maybe we'll go with Kyle if they play UConn.
Yeah.
Now, Boston College is definitely gonna face like someone terrible. Wouldn't even shock me if they play Pitt back-to-back weeks just to like save like travel costs. That would be an ACC thing to do. Anyways, moving on with our week 13 recaps here. This was a pretty big one because, as we mentioned, Kansas now upsetted Colorado, and Colorado, they're still ranked 25th, but they did take a huge bump in the ratings. As for Kansas, back-to-back upsets. They beat by BYU last weekend, now beating Colorado at home, and dare I say, you can't let them win this week or else they're going to be going bowling, and they have just been very impressive, especially with the legs of Devin Neal.
Oh, yeah, dude. The only clip I saw from this game was the Kansas defender going low on Shedora Sanders, which should have been a flag. I don't, but stop. Yes, it should have been. But
no, it was interesting because I've seen both sides of the story.
Shot.
But
you should. I mean, from what I saw, Kansas dominated the game. I didn't really pay attention to this one. I was too busy partying in Gainesville. But
hey, at least he's honest.
But yeah, good for Kansas, man. They're tough. I don't know who they got this week, but I wouldn't put it past them to go out and go win and go bowling again.
It'd be pretty amazing if they could seal the deal. One more game to recap. I'll actually screw it too, because you want to know what? This is delicious karma for me and Lennon. Mike told us, why is Alabama and Oklahoma not on our games to talk about? And me and Lennon smartasses said, I don't know, maybe because Alabama's going to win by 3 possessions. Well, guess what? It was the other way around.
Yeah.
And Jalen Milroe threw 3 interceptions. They let a freshman run for 107 yards and 2 touchdowns against them. Yeah, so be it for Alabama's vaunted defense.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Their fans are the most annoying people on the face of the planet. They're out here complaining about 8-3. Like that's how spoiled those motherfuckers have been. So I'm so glad to see Alabama fans up in arms. I'll tell you what, I was watching the Feinbaum show on SEC Network this morning, and there was he has fans calling from everywhere, and this dude from Alabama, I'm gonna quote him. This is a quote. He says, "To go from Coach Saban to Coach DeBoer is like going to bed married to Beyonce and waking up with Whoopi Goldberg next to you." So that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. That was hilarious. But yeah, I love seeing. I mean, I hate seeing Oklahoma win, but I love seeing Bama lose. So it was I don't know. But Oklahoma's still overrated. Don't get it twisted. But
yeah. No, don't you worry. Overrated
USF
university. We have not forgotten.
USF's projected to play Oklahoma in one of the bowl games. So go Bulls.
Cool. Yeah. Oklahoma might beat LSU this weekend, though. Not gonna.
Shut up.
They could.
They could.
They could. I think they will.
It's not happening.
LSU was like.
It's Brian Kelly. You never know.
LSU was
Brian
like
Kelly's
terrible.
the worst fucking
Brian Kelly
I've ever seen.
And while we are talking about frauds, last recap of the week, Texas A&M. What the hell is this? 4 overtimes. 4 overtimes. And you couldn't get it done. You let Auburn, who played pretty terrible the entire first half, come back and win this game. That's brutal. That's brutal.
Coach Saban said it best. That place is haunted. Jordan Harris Stadium is so the way teams win games and lose games there. The kick six happened there. Freaking Auburn beats what was A&M at the time, like 10th or something, 15th at the time, maybe. I think
15th.
Yeah. I'm so mad. I fell asleep right when Auburn tied the game to go to overtime, and I woke up to see Auburn winning for it. I should have forced myself to stay up.
And let's not forget that the Texas A&M tight end dropped the game-tying 2-point conversion.
How do you drop that ball?
Yeah, I don't understand. It was a perfect pass, and he dropped it, and that's the game. Auburn rushes the field, and I'm like, well, that's a pretty way to lose. But it wasn't going their way. I mean, it was pretty obvious that Auburn was the better team heading into overtime. They had all the momentum heading into overtime as well, and you just kind of sense Texas A&M, their offense was eventually going to stall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should head on to Week 14, and of course, this will be our last, I guess, regular season predictions episode, correct? Wow.
Yeah.
I already got the playoffs starting up in a couple of weeks here. It's going to be super exciting. But first, as always, Jersey of the Week, and this one is kind of boring. I think we may have used this one before, but Oregon will be wearing their all yellows with gray and black, and I guess Drew hates this. Dude, it's on a Wednesday. No one posts their jerseys before, Thursday.
It's so boring.
It's so boring. Well, tell the social media admins to post their damn jerseys.
Can we find like a D3 school that has a good uniform this year, the week? Like Oregon always has good uniforms, but we don't need to post it every week. You find someone else.
I tried. I looked for Tulane. I looked for Penn State. I looked for
Why are you looking for Penn State?
Illinois.
They have 2 colors.
I looked for I don't know if they're wearing an alternate or not. But they got boring. By the way, now that you mentioned it, I will try to look for more Division 2 and 3 schools. That would be sick. But there it is. Moving on to our first prediction, and this game's actually going to be played on Friday, not Saturday, but it's Georgia Tech against Georgia, and obviously this one has pretty significant expectations to it because Georgia Tech has that upset factor. They've beaten Florida State before they were proven frauds. They were at home, and they did a great job in containing Miami's unstoppable offense. But now you're going up against 7th-ranked 9-2 Georgia. Is another upset in the cards? Well, I guess it's up for us to decide, but I picked this game because Georgia, they have that upset factor that you, I guess, need to take in consideration to predict this game.
Let me just start off by saying, who's that coming down the track? Who's that coming down the track?
Yeah, it's the Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech. That's what's coming down the track.
Ain't nothing finer in the land, ain't nothing finer in the land than a drunk obnoxious Georgia fan.
Drunk obnoxious Georgia fans are the most irritable
go
people.
Dogs, go Dogs, go Dogs. Whoa, Dogs. Second, whoa. Give me Georgia Tech to upset Georgia this week in Athens. Let's go Jackets.
He was doing the whole song, and I'm like, oh, there's no way he's actually gonna pick Georgia Tech. He was making it way too I'm picking Georgia. He made it way too casual. That's funny. Well, have a good time being wrong, Drew. Give me Bulldogs in this one. It'll be close though. Bulldogs by 10. It'll be really close until the fourth quarter.
It's the what's this called? The clean old-fashioned hate, I do believe it is. Georgia has had Tech's number for why is it let's say 4 or 7 years in a row now, somewhere in between that. Yeah,
remember the days where Georgia used to suck.
Yeah, good times. This season started with me picking Georgia Tech to upset then number 10 ranked Florida State. It happened. So I think it's only fitting that I end the regular season picking those Ramblin' Wrecks from Georgia Tech. I told you guys week 1, Georgia Tech's going to get some people this year. They got Florida State before they were proven to be fraudulent, and they beat Miami, a really good Miami team. They're going to beat a really good Georgia team. Jackets, sting them.
I think we're forgetting the fact that if Georgia loses, they're essentially out of the playoff race.
That is what we're saying. Yeah.
I mean, they're already in the SEC championship, so either way, they're going to lose. Or no, maybe not. It depends who they play. They're going. Georgia plays the winner of A&M and Texas in the SEC championship game.
God, I'm hoping it's not A&M. That will be a rout for Georgia, anyways.
Yeah, don't Jackets.
No.
I'm with you, Mike. I think these two are insane.
It's going to be close, but it's Georgia fighting for a playoff spot. They're not losing.
Good Jackets.
Georgia has so much to play for than the Jackets.
But they're not winning.
Georgia has so much more to play for.
Yeah, but Georgia Tech can ruin Georgia's season. Those nerds in Atlanta can ruin Georgia's season. That's something to
It's the mean machine
Those
in the white and gold.
Georgia is a wild comment.
Rivalry games, the records and rankings do not matter.
I'm not saying that they do or don't. I'm just saying Georgia's a better team, though.
Exactly.
Listen, at least with Georgia Tech, I at least thought it was somewhat reasonable to pick them against Florida State and Miami. I think picking them over Georgia is a little irrational.
Drew, we were very wrong about Tennessee, so hopefully Georgia Tech doesn't let us down.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, me and Mike also got that one right. Dude, Rocky Flop, man. I knew they were frauds. Rocky Flop, baby.
Do they beat Vanderbilt this weekend?
I don't know. Damn, that's going to be a good matchup probably.
Yes,
but that's going to be a good game.
I mean, hey, Rocky Top, baby. 56-0 against UTEP. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, they beat UTEP. The only team that's better than freaking Kent State anyway. Moving on, we have a pretty interesting game here between 15th ranked South Carolina and 12th ranked Clemson. 8-3 versus 9-2. I didn't think this game would have as many implications as it did earlier on in the year, but hey, South Carolina, they've really put it together. They've gotten a bunch of wins in a row, and they've had a really strong season where Clemson started off great, and then they've kind of died off in the last few weeks. South Carolina could catch the Tigers sleeping here, and with a win here, that'll put them at 9-3, which would be massive.
I am so glad the Gamecocks decided to make this a rivalry again. 'Cause I was really tired of Clemson running away with things. You have to consider this game does have playoff implications too, because I do think the winner of this game has to be considered to be in. Well, it's definitely Clemson if they
would pretty
win.
much clinch. They're already ranked 12th.
But
so
if
they would
South Carolina's 15th, if they beat Clemson and the cards fall right, the Gamecocks can go into the playoffs, and they don't got to play in the conference game, which helps them out too. So I don't know. This game is going to be close, but it's the final regular season. I've already lost to Grant, so give me the Gamecock.
Give me the Tigers 31-28.
Ooh, okay, still close game. Okay.
I kind of need South Carolina to win this game because if Miami loses,
for obvious reasons,
if Miami loses and Clemson win, Clemson gets the ACC championship game and Miami's out of it.
Ooh, yeah.
So.
Then go. Oh wait, no. Then I have to root for Clemson. Then.
Go Tigers.
I'm still gonna pick the Gamecock, but
I want South Carolina to win this game. I think they will too. They have chances to prove themselves, and when they have those chances to prove themselves, they take them.
Clemson wins 24-21. Very close game. Very defensive second half, probably.
Yes.
But I think you just got to trust the more experienced team here, and that would be the Tigers. So that's why I'm going to go with Clemson. We don't have Miami and Syracuse on the prediction, but Mike, are you scared about Syracuse at all? I mean,
not really.
I don't know. They'll play great one week and then they'll play garbage the next. They're a very inconsistent team.
Big
they are a slightly worse version of Georgia Tech. That's the best way I can describe it.
Exactly
GBO,
the point.
baby.
We lost to Georgia Tech in a bad game. Miami played bad against Georgia Tech. We played good against Syracuse. We won. If we played bad, they're worse than Georgia Tech. So it's like I'm not that scared of them.
Yeah.
I was more scared of Georgia Tech than I am of Syracuse.
Oh, for sure.
Don't let the orange man get you. But
let Otto.
Miami should take that game pretty handedly. But conference game, maybe. Yeah. Who knows? But I would pick the Hurricane.
So if things shape up as it is right now, Cal might upset SMU, but I doubt it. So that would lead SMU versus Miami in the ACC championship game if that's
good game.
Even if that SMU loses, they've clinched the championship game.
Oh, they have?
Yeah.
Yeah, SMU's locked in.
Wow, really? They would jump the gun on that instead of having Miami Clemson? Wow, that's shocking. Yeah. Anyway, good for the committee. But yeah, no, give me the Tigers in this one, but this one will be a good one.
Yeah.
Moving on to another huge rivalry game, and this one will be Michigan against Ohio State, obviously. Probably a more significant game in years past. Ohio State's still ranked number 2, coming in at 10-1 with their only loss against Oregon. Michigan coming in at 6-5, trying to avoid what would be a dreadful 6-6 season for them. Give me Buckeyes. I mean, if they can crush Indiana by 4 possessions, I think they could do the same, if not even worse, to Michigan. I'm going to go Ohio State wins in a blowout.
I'm going Ohio State by 24, at least.
Michigan fans may not want to go 6-6, but they're going 6-6. Ohio State's defense is just too good, and their offense. Michigan does not have a defense that can stop their offense.
Yeah, as much as I've enjoyed Michigan blowing out Ohio State the last 3 years, no, sir. Tree nut. Buckeyes win this one big. Sorry, Michigan, it's over. Maybe next year with your star-studded quarterback coming in, but not this year. Ohio State's defense is way too good. Buckeyes.
When was the last time a reigning national champion sucked this badly?
Texas?
Yeah, that's the only one I
Maybe
can really
Yeah,
think of
07
that could not be
Longhorns?
good the next season.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Miami,
True.
Yeah.
It's
Florida,
just amazing, and then it goes to show you the second
We were
you
good in
lose
09.
your starting quarterback and your head coach, your team
Florida,
goes to
We
shit.
were good in 09.
Florida.
Still better than USF.
Listen, I
all.
never said we won titles, but it's fine.
Okay, we're coming back. Lagway season, baby.
I mean, we're gonna lose
Regular
Byron
season.
Brown to transfer, but it's okay.
All right, he can come back up our third string. All right.
Go
Nah,
back
shit.
up our third. Good.
Or second string, sorry. Third. He'd be the third. Never mind. I don't want him here. I mean, I'd take him if he wants to come, but I don't think he'll come to Florida. Maybe Florida State. They need a quarterback.
Yeah, maybe.
Nah, he'll stay. He's loyal. I promise.
Nah, bro, I'm waiting for that Thomas Castellanos transfers to Florida State.
He
That
could.
and
I mean-
the depressing thing is he could.
Yeah, no, he really
The
good.
depressing thing is that isn't all too unrealistic.
No, it's not.
I don't know. He'll be able to actually enter the transfer portal next week. So
Yeah.
we may actually have a Castellanos update for you guys the next episode. So stay tuned for that and other potential transfers. We all going tree nuts here. We're ready to move on to the next
Yeah.
one.
Tree nuts.
And this game grabbed my attention. Realistically, there are probably better games. Like you could have maybe gone Arkansas, Missouri, or I don't know. But I like this game or Oklahoma LSU. But I like this game too because this is two ranked teams going at it. Both teams in the top 20 range. Iowa State's been really solid, and then they lost to Texas Tech, and they kind of fell down a little bit. Kansas State has just been the definition of inconsistent. I've been saying it all year. I'm not convinced Avery Johnson's all that good, but who am I to judge? Who we got this one between the Cyclones and the Wildcats?
Cyclones by 14, at least.
I have the Wildcats winning. Honestly, I don't really know who would win, and I'm mostly picking Kansas State because they're at home. But
Kansas State and their 4 fans that go to their games. Cyclones
it's
are
still a home
playoff
atmosphere.
team.
It's still a home atmosphere. No matter what you do, it's still a home atmosphere.
Yeah, but the Cyclones are a playoff team. They know how to play. Iowa State.
Yeah, but the thing about Kansas State and Iowa State's been on a decline. Kansas State's inconsistent. I trust an inconsistent more team than I trust a team on a decline.
How is Iowa State on a decline? They were not a playoff team last year. They're a playoff team this year.
They've been on a decline. I'm not saying from last year to this year they're a decline, but from when they lost to Texas A&M, they've been on a decline.
Hey, he's finally arguing with somebody else. Let's go. About time.
Yeah, Leonard, I'll get to you later, okay?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Kansas State, guy, I love you guys. I really do, but you guys have let me down over and over and over again this year. Cyclones win.
Well, how the hell do you what Cyclone? Cyclone. I don't know. Yeah, Cyclone.
Their mascot's isn't their mascot like a bird or something?
I'm not sure.
What? That doesn't
A
make any
cyclone
sense.
is not a bird.
I know, but I'm saying their
Neither's
mascot
a hurricane.
bird. Yeah, freaking Miami has the ibis, which makes sense as a Florida bird, but
Yeah.
What is this?
Cyclone is a hurricane. It's just
I know
another name
what
for
it
it.
is, but
So would you ask what a cyclone is if you know
Oh,
what it
it's
is?
a cardinal.
yeah. So you told you.
Weird.
Cy the Cardinal. I don't know. What's with hurricanes and cyclones with birds as mascots? It makes no sense.
I don't know.
What the fuck?
You can't really make a cyclone or a hurricane a mascot. Was it going to be a wind, a cloud?
Yeah.
A cloud.
Have a guy stand with the 2 hurricane flags and just the Carolina hurricane flags, just
Oh yeah, the hurricane flags. Yeah, exactly.
No,
What the hurricanes
just have a
do.
guy in a suit like around him is they're just like a circle, and then it's just
Right.
like gray, and he has like the flags he goes.
Oh,
You gotta give him some lightning bolts.
Yeah,
yeah.
his legs are lightning bolts.
Oh man, so all right. Well, there you go. Yeah, I'm glad we've all kind of learned to, well, stray away from Kansas State a little bit. Everyone besides Mike. Don't worry. It's only the
I trust an inconsistent more team than I trust a team on a decline.
Okay.
Fair enough. Moving on to our last prediction of the week, and this will determine the SEC championship game and who plays the Georgia Bulldogs. Third ranked, 10-1 Texas on the road at Kyle Field, going up against 20th ranked Texas A&M. Massive, massive game, massive in-state rivalry. Drew, who are you going to go with?
Yeah. A&M has no business winning this game. So Texas by at least 20. If A&M just lost to Auburn by like 14, or not even 14, like lost to Auburn in quadruple overtime because they can't fucking play a second half, then there's no reason they should win this game.
I mean, I
They're cutting to the point.
Texas is, I think, gonna win this game. I mean, A&M is weird. They've beaten teams and then they lose to Auburn. Like, okay, what game are we gonna get you against Texas? It's like we don't know what game they're gonna play against Texas. So again, I'm trusting a team that I can trust over a team I can't.
Yeah. So I had picked this game prior to A&M losing to Auburn, but I didn't change it. Drew is right. A&M has no business winning this football game. But it's the first Lone Star Showdown in however many years. It's in Kyle Field. Yeah, you know what? I ain't got nothing to lose. Give me the Aggies with the upset. Give me the Aggies. If this wasn't played in Kyle Field, I'd pick the Longhorns. But this is a rivalry game. Records don't matter. A&M was looking ahead to Texas. That's why they lost to Auburn. I hope so. I have nothing to lose at this point.
You just said they have no business being here, and then you picked them.
Exactly. Gig 'em. Go Aggies and that Colt and.
I guess I understand where London's coming from there, though.
see.
They don't have any reason to be here, so they're just gonna go out and play a flawless game and just try to pull off the upset. Realistically, the Aggies do have nothing to lose here. They realistically don't. Well, besides an SEC championship game the following week, that's not the point.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like Texas would obviously love to get another rematch at Georgia. Of course, that was the game where Quinn Ewers threw 3 picks, and Texas really just didn't play like Texas. That is their lone loss on the season. So, if I was a betting man, I'd definitely say Texas wins this one because they definitely want another shot at Georgia. Now, that's not saying Texas A&M is not going to keep this close. I actually have Texas winning 34-31. This will be a shootout. This will be a very high-scoring game. I got to go Texas here because they are the team that's favored, and they want another crack at Georgia. So
yeah,
I just don't want Texas to win the SEC their first year here. So go Ag.
That would
they're not going to.
Lennon, what in the fuck are you doing?
Making predictions, buddy.
I know you've made some really stupid predictions this year, but what the fuck are you doing?
I think that this one is not the worst one.
I was
It's
this
not.
was far
It's
from the
not.
worst
This is
one.
not the worst one at all.
This is not the worst one, but this is pretty bad.
I mean, it's not that bad.
It's pretty bad.
A&M is beating some good teams.
But A&M also lost to 4-6 Auburn last week. So it's
On the road.
So did Bama, though.
on the
So did
road.
Bama a couple
Yeah,
years
in
ago. They lost to
quadruple
Auburn.
overtime when they were up big at half. So
They could have gotten
They
tired.
weren't. A&M was down 21-0 at halftime, or 21-21 at halftime.
what game am I thinking of? Anyways,
Not this game.
I don't know. I was thinking of USF. Sorry, USF was big. It was up big at half. So.
This is a different type of bowl.
Yes, I know. No, it's not a better type of bowl. It's just different.
I didn't say it's better. I said it's different.
I know.
Man. Dude, I tell you, the A&M game or the Auburn game was a fluke. I'm living on a prayer, but go Aggie.
You're the music.
Oh dear, oh dear. Anyways, moving on to games that won't count towards the record, but we'll still have some fun and we'll talk about them. Obviously, we touched a little bit on Florida State, but London, if you would like to, I guess, quickly explain why you'd be so nervous heading into a matchup like this, go ahead.
Dude, again, I know I sound like a broken record, but rivalry games, the record doesn't matter. Florida State's a garbage fire, okay, and Florida's going to win this game by 55. However, it would not surprise me one bit if it would make Florida State's season if they beat us. They have nothing to play for. They're at home, and Florida's coming off 2 big wins against LSU and Ole Miss, and I don't want the air to get into our heads and think we can sleepwalk into Tallahassee and come out alive. I don't expect us to. I think we're going to fight hard and actually play good, and we're going to win by a lot. I'm not, but it also wouldn't surprise me if we lose this game. And I hope we don't lose this game because I'll never hear the end of it. Florida wins by at least 45.
Damn. Okay.
You're no.
I would
Florida
maybe
will win
say
by-
Florida maybe wins by 17. They're going to keep it close.
Florida's
Maybe
gonna win by
Florida
21. That's the best I'll give you.
My man's scared to go in and says they're going to win by 45.
No, because Florida's the better team, but again,
You are, but man,
you're
you're scared to
in
go
Doak
in there and
Campbell.
you think you're going to win by 45.
I am terrified of Doak Campbell. Yes, sir. I got bad memories from that place. 2022, baby. Bad memories. Yep. Bad memories.
Travis, baby. Travis.
Yeah, he's not there anymore.
No, he's not. Sadly.
No, thank God. You guys know Florida State doesn't have electronic tickets, right? It's all paper-based.
Yeah.
Oh, actually?
That's how dumb they are. That's how dumb they are. They just can't figure out how to. Dude, and when we went in 2022,
nah, bro, that's cool. Low-key, I respect that. I miss the ticket stuff.
When we went in 2022, our tickets didn't even scan through. The dude just said, "Here, go in." I'm like, yo, and we lost the game. It was a great game, great rivalry game, but this is gonna be an interesting one. Just Florida. I'm just a little bit scared of Tallahassee, but other than that, I think Florida should win this game pretty easily if everything goes right and we don't play with our heads in the cloud.
Oh, we'll see about that.
Moving on to more SEC action, Oklahoma and LSU. So Oklahoma comes into this one 6-5, LSU 7-4. One thing I want to point out about Oklahoma is that they are 2-5 against the SEC this year. That's brutal. And I was not expecting it to be that bad. LSU is at home, so what are we thinking?
LSU wins by 14.
Yeah.
I got LSU by 17, 14, something like that. Oklahoma's coming in off of beating Bama, and they're going to think they're invincible, and they're not.
So now they're not. Okay.
I do.
Oklahoma can hypothetically win this game, but they're not.
If we went over the game, I would have picked Bama. Okay.
Okay.
I would have been wrong. I'm just saying it would have been a good game.
Yeah, we replaced it with mid-ass LSU Vanderbilt. Anyways,
Yeah.
That was still a good game. It was
yeah, it was fine. All right, well, this is a given, but Washington, Oregon at home. Oregon obviously gonna complete their undefeated regular season, I'd assume, unless
Drew
Lenny
loves
does
that take
stupid
apparently.
shit and picks Washington.
Oh,
I love you, Oregon. I love you, Oregon.
come on, do it. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oregon and Washington had 2 instant classic games last year. This one's not going to be close. Go
Yeah.
Ducks.
Washington fell off a cliff while Oregon climbed up a cliff.
Perfect way to explain that, actually.
What?
That's a perfect way to explain that,
Yeah.
actually. All right, we have 2 more games here. One of 2, 5th-ranked Notre Dame against USC. Another classic rivalry game. This game will be played in the Coliseum. Notre Dame has not lost since week 2. USC has just been kind of all over the place this year. They will be playing in a bowl game, but probably not a great one. Notre Dame, USC, who are we picking here?
Notre Dame controls
Yeah.
the game all game. They're winning.
Notre Dame. They're going to run all over them. USC cannot stop that run game at all. If Army can't stop that run game, no one can.
Yeah, I have a nickname for USC, but I'm not going to say it in fear of getting demonetized. I'll tell you guys after the camera. But take their mascot, and then put the words together. Yeah, Notre Dame wins by a lot.
And lastly, we got the Iron Bowl. This is another iconic matchup at 3:30. Auburn against Alabama. Now, Alabama coming off a huge loss. They just dropped to 13th. Realistically, they make the top 12 if one of the teams ahead of them lose. But Auburn coming off a huge win against Texas A&M. Do they carry that momentum into Tuscaloosa?
No.
No. Bama's mad.
Bama's pissed off.
Bama
pissed off is not fun.
You don't screw with the Tide.
No.
Give me.
Bama puts up at least 42.
See, I was going.
If you say Auburn wins this game, I'm leaving.
Let me explain. I was going into this week thinking, okay, maybe Auburn can get them, until Auburn linebacker DeMarcus Riddick said, Ryan Williams, he ain't no big-time player to me. I will not lose to Bama while I'm here. Not only is Alabama coming off a loss, you got Auburn poking to sleeping giant. You don't do that.
Yeah.
RTR. Bama wins. Sorry, Auburn. If this game was in Jordan-Hare, maybe. But no, Tide win this one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, last year's game was a banger, though. When Milrow threw that
Iron
game,
Bowl is
touchdown
always
like 15 seconds up, that was a banger.
So the Iron Bowl is always fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And Mississippi State will be Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl. No, I'm just kidding. But that's Friday night, too, I think.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Tulane's playing on Thanksgiving.
We have Memphis and Tulane. That's an interesting game.
Yeah, Memphis, Tulane. Both teams coming in 9-2. Tulane's actually ranked. I'm gonna go Green Wave though, baby. Mackay Hughes, love Mackay Hughes. Yeah. So give me the Green Wave in that one.
Tulane, Memphis will be a better game than the Giants and the Cowboys.
USS going to Rice this week.
But I will 100% be watching Packers Dolphins over whatever the hell Tulane and Memphis will end up being.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be watching Giants Cowboys.
Rice. We should win by at least 21. If we don't, I will be entering the fan transfer portal and looking for a new team. So
fan transfer portal.
Hey, Gainesville's only a couple hours up the highway, buddy. We're here for you. We got an extra seat.
I'm okay. I'm gonna look for other options. Thank you.
You sure? There's nothing better in the state of Florida. You can go to UCF, I guess, but dude, you got Florida, UCF, or Florida State or Miami. Pick your poison.
Yeah.
Florida Atlantic. Florida Atlantic. Go Owls.
Bethune-Cookman, Florida A&M, Nova, What else is there? Florida Gulf Coast. Go. Are they
Go
Owls?
Eagles, baby. Go Eagles.
Oh, Eagles. Yeah.
That's where I want to go.
Panthers. It's by you.
I will not.
Which
I
is
will
like a
never root
saint.
for FAU, FIU, UM, FSU, maybe UF, maybe a couple times.
Yeah, we've had a fun. You had fun going to the games with me a few times. Don't
I know
lie.
someone who
I
goes
went
to
to one game
UCF.
with you.
Yeah, it was great. It's like what 2018 Idaho, I think it
Yeah,
was.
it was Idaho. Y'all won like
Sat in-
70-10.
Yeah, it was a great game. We sat right in the south end zone, like kind of almost where the recruits are. It was great.
Yep.
70-10. How the hell could you? How could you sit down and watch a 70-10 game? That's why
It was
college
fun.
is weird.
It was. I think
Yeah.
it was at noon too.
Yeah, it was an early kickoff too. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun.
I would like to talk about primetime experiences, but Boston College does not have much of a freaking primetime experience. Maybe it's because I went to go see the University of Maine. I don't know, but atmosphere at night was
Go
dead.
Bears.
The atmosphere in the afternoon so much better.
Yeah,
Go
don't worry,
Bears.
man. I will.
Go Maine.
Don't worry, Grant. We'll get you to a real college football game down south.
Real. That's
So
crazy.
yeah, we'll take it. Happy Thanksgiving, boys. This was fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
Happy
fun.
Thanksgiving.
Hope
Yep.
everyone out there, you the listeners, the viewers, have a tremendous Thanksgiving as well. We'll be back next week, and this is where we get to talk about some championship games, what teams are going to be in the playoffs. It's going to be a lot of fun next week. Me and Mike will be back on campus. But yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Can't wait for next week. Saturday should be a lot of fun. I'm going to sound like a total nerd and make a total ass out of myself. I will be watching WWE Saturday night. Sorry to disappoint, but go Florida. We'll probably catch Pitt destroying Boston College before that. And yeah, that's how my weekend's going to go.
The USF game. You will not be disappointed.
Rice by 15.
Shut your bitch whore mouth, you dirty fucking slut.
Hey, you're going to get me demonetized. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening. This was season 2, episode 15. Yeah. All right. We're getting out of here before Drew gets me canceled. See you later. See you next week.